Howdy folks, you're watching Deuce and Guns. If you look outside, you see the leaves starting to change. You see the temperatures are starting to drop, which means one thing for the serious shooter. It's almost reloading season. So today we're going to talk about the different types of presses available for the reloader. And if you've not started reloading yet, but you really want to, we're going to talk about the press that I recommend for the new reloader. First of all, let's talk about all the different types of presses available for the reloader. Number one, the cheapest to get started with is the classic Lee reloader. Basically, all you need is your normal components, a hammer, and you got everything else right here in the little box. The problem is, it's super slow and it is labor intensive. I do not recommend starting out with this. It's just a lot of labor and you're probably going to get turned off from the reloading hobby if you use this. Now, a step up from the Lee Classic Reloader is the hand press. And pretty much every single press manufacturer out there makes a style of hand press out there. And it is something I do recommend if you are not sure if you're going to enjoy or go hog wild into the reloading hobby. Get yourself a hand press. It's the least investment you can do and still have an actual traditional press feel and press style. So you can get the flavor of what it's like to reload your ammo on a press without the initial investment. Now, it is still way more labor intensive than one that's actually mounted onto a bench. But if you do go hog wild into your reloading hobby, this is still going to be useful. You can still use this to go to the range and actually develop your load and actually make your own ammo at the shooting range, at your shooting bench, while you're shooting the ammo. So you can reload and actually develop your load right there instead of going back and forth between your reloading bench at home and your range wherever you're shooting. But be forewarned, if you find you really enjoy the art of reloading, you're going to outgrow this hand press very quickly for many reasons, including, as I said before, it's labor intensive, it is slow, and you can find it difficult to fully resize rifle brass. Now 223, not a big deal. If you're trying to do 1,000 308 cases, by case number 200, you're going to really wish you had splurged and gotten the bench-mounted single-stage press. And a step up from the hand press is the single-stage bench press. And here we have, it's basically, you got a single die you can put into it, and then a piston and handle to actually reload it. And of course, it's mounted on your bench right here. And this is a setup that I've actually been using for years now for all of my rifle brass. And it's done very well. I do all my priming, all my resizing, everything on here. And I use the Lee Perfect Powder Measure to put powder in my cases. So this little setup right here is what I've been using for years, and it's worked perfectly. And the end all and be all of reloading presses is the progressive press. Now this is a Lee Pro 1000. It's the cheapest progressive press out there. And it only does pistol caliber, well, it's supposed to only do pistol caliber, but you can finagle a 223 in there if you really want to. Is it worth it? Not really. There's a lot of tinkering involved. Actually, all progressive presses need a lot of tinkering. Some more than others. The Pro 1000 requires a lot of tinkering. But if you think that you're going to buy a $2,000 Dillon 1050 and think you're going to just take it out of the box and start loading immediately, you're wrong. They all take tinkering, some more than others. Put down your keyboard, stop typing that comment. I know I left out an entire type of press. And the rest of the video is actually going to be about that type of press. And it's to answer the question, what if I want to start reloading, but I have no idea what to buy, what materials I'm going to need, or what press to buy? Well, here's the answer. The Lee Classic Turret Press Kit. It's got almost everything you need to start reloading. There will be some other things you need to buy, which I will go over here later on in the video. But this press kit pretty much takes care of most of your decisions for you. Okay, clean up some space now. So let's take a look and see what you get with the Classic Turret Press Kit. Alright, well, I've got my headroom. It's not that tall here. It's a bunker. Not known for their vaulted ceilings. Alright, number one, you get the actual press itself. Oh, come on. Alright, you got some bits and pieces there. Move this back out of the way. And you got your actual press. And this is the classic press. It actually has an iron base, an actual steel base. So it's a little more sturdy than the aluminum version. And it actually has enough room to do full-size rifle cartridges, which is what I recommend. It doesn't cost that much more than the aluminum one, but it's more versatile. So go with the classic. It's just going to last longer and be more useful for you down the road. All right, that box is empty. And we get some, let's see, what is this? Okay, we got the instructions, and then some Lee propaganda. Read that later. Put that in the bathroom for toilet use. Okay, so we got the handle here. that will mount down here somewhere, which I will do later on. And we have the primer tube. This actually catches the spent case or spent primers that you actually push out of the old cases. And that'll be down here somewhere, and we just collect, and you'll eventually empty them out, and it will be very dirty very quickly. We got the actual case conditioning kit, which is basically just a primer pocket cleaner, chamfer, let's see, yeah, all that good stuff. Basically to kind of prepare your cases once you've resized them. You want to, take off the burrs, deburring, and chamfering the mouth, so then you can get the bullet in very clean. And we have the auto disc riser, which basically is an attachment that lets you put on the powder hopper, which is already in here as well, to put powder in the cases as you go through your reloading process. And you've got some Lee resizing lube. I'd rather use one shot. It's very easy, and it's aerosol, much quicker, but that's there for you in case you run out. So, because it is sealed, so it'll last pretty much forever. Put that up for a rainy day. All right, that's over. Oh, the powder scale. This is actually a really good scale. It's pretty accurate. It is. Actually, they've gotten better. I had one of these years and years ago, and actually gave it to a friend because I didn't like it. It felt very cheap and very flimsy. Now, this is not a $100 scale. It definitely is a budget type scale, but it feels heavier than the old one does. So if you tried one out years ago and you thought this thing's really flimsy, you might want to take a look at a new one, because it feels a little bit heftier. Everything else is the same inside though, so if you like the beam scale, this is more than adequate for starting out. Later on, you'll probably get an electric scale to speed things up, but this is more than adequate for the beginner. Okay, let's see what else we got in here. Let's see here. We got the... Oh, here's your powder measure. More instructions. And it's very similar to what was on top of the Pro 1000. Except actually it is spring-loaded. The other one is actually actuated by a chain that's attached to the actual piston down on the bottom of the press. This actually has a spring on it to return it back to where it reloads the powder. Interesting. And it comes with the auto disc, so you can kind of dial in which size, which amount of powder you want. I prefer the adjustable version, which I have a spare one that I will show you later. But yeah, this is actually a very accurate way to measure powder. And let's see what else we got in the box here. We've got, the primer systems here. Primer feed systems. Actually comes with two different ones. One of these is set up for small primers, both pistol and rifle, and the other is set up for large primers. So they work pretty well. Sometimes they do get jammed up a little bit, and you've got to clean it out. Not that big of a deal on a turret press. On a progressive press, you end up putting powder into a case that doesn't have primer in it, and it makes a huge mess. Again, turret press, not that big of a deal. One of the many reasons why I highly recommend the turret press as a first press for a new reloader. Alrighty, I am definitely running out of room over here. Just put this, it's not in camera, but whatever, you know it's there. And then the last thing in the box. One of the things you get with this kit is the actual Lee handbook, which has a literal ton of different loads for pretty much anything you want to reload. Now, I hope this video shed some light on what kind of presses are available, what kind of press might be right for you at your stage in the reloading hobby, and why I think that the Lee Classic Turret Press is probably the best option for a new reloader. Now, in a later video, I will be going over all the things you need to purchase on top of this kit before you start reloading. So stay tuned for that. And as always, if you have any comments, questions, or show ideas, leave that in the comment box below the video. And of course, you guys have a great day. See ya. Oops. Hand press. Many people use the... Oh. All right.